Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees. Welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week we are going to be hopping straight in with the new stuff. The update to Bozja came out today, so we are going to be going to do that. Bear with me a hot second, let's swap to the GP. And I'm going to go put my lights on because I forgot. It's not like you can tell anyway, but I like it being there. I hit the wrong button, sorry about that. There we go. These on, there we go. I've got 4 sets of fairy lights hung up around my room, and it's imperative for me to have at least 2 on at any time. I have these really nice ones that are like very nice multicolored and stuff, but they are directly to the side of where my computer is, so I could put them on a stream, but they wouldn't like do anything except have cool vibes. Anyway, there we go. Let's go. I cannot hand, let me just check, make sure my bot's connected. Okay, good, they are. They're just not posting. That's okay. I have, my Spiritus, I suppose if it's going to get upgraded I should probably take this Misija out, but does a single cry. Anyway, I can't hand let's travel off to Gangus. I can't hand the one for my asteroid in just yet, but I will at some point. I'm just intensely lazy is the problem. I haven't really had the time to like grind anything in any game. The only grinding I've been doing this game is like getting my dailies done and roulettes and stuff. Although I'm actually very close. Anyway, speaking of dailies and roulettes and stuff like that, the plan for today is we are going to be doing all of the new Bozja stuff, so that involves the weapon upgrades and the new dungeon and also any new story stuff. And then if we have time after that, we'll do the raids, roulettes, normal stuff for tombstones. But the plan at the moment is to actually do story, so let's see how these guys are doing. Thank goodness Makoto was okay. No time to relax though, not as long as the 4th Legion is still out there up to no good. Anything you need before I get back to work? Misija always seemed so kind and caring. Why did it have to come to this? I'd like to believe the Empire has deceived us somehow, but I know it's not that simple. We have to stop her, Maeve. Do you wish to talk? Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine Queen Gunhild herself could be turned against us, her blades enslaved by the way of foul magics. Now that I think about it, reforging the blades of Gunhild was originally proposed by Misija, as was exploration of memories. Could this have been her aim all along? At any rate, something must be done about this new weapon of the Empire. Okay, Marsak, what you got? The fight for Bozja is far from over. There she is, my hot girlfriend. Misija is my, I don't care if she's evil or a villain. She's a femro and therefore I love her by default. I have no choice. Pains me to say it, but we've reached a stalemate on the Bozjan southern front. The 4th Imperial Legion seems content to play the waiting game, perhaps to conserve their strength until reinforcements arrive. We must act before their ranks are replenished. There is much we wish to discuss with you, though I dare say Basiljan could explain it better than I. I need to get another drink in a minute, but might do it while queuing for a delay run. Allow me to straight to the heart of our troubles. Though we were forced to abandon the castrum, it was our hope that Misija's display of force there was no more than an act of desperation to buy them time. But since then, Queen Gunhild has been quick to join the fray each time we engage their forces, leaving us little choice but to retreat. We've sustained heavy casualties. Many of those not slain outright have been made slaves to Misija's will. I fear she could defeat our forces utterly if she so chose. Our Damascus allies, however, have information to the contrary. To put it plainly, we believe the 4th Imperial Legion has all but exhausted its resources. In the wake of Emperor Varus' death, the War of Succession has brought the whole of Garlemald to the brink of collapse. This is true. As for Gabranth, he has refused orders to return to the city. Apparently has harbours dreams of building some new nation on the ruins of Dalmasca. He may once have played the loyal servant Solus, but there was no love lost between him and Varus. Seems his allegiance to the Garlemald died with the Emperor. If what you say is true, cutting ties with Garlemald has deprived his forces of any troops or supplies they'd otherwise have received. Lord Ian was quick to reach the same conclusion and ordered an assault on the 4th Imperial Legion. That would explain why reinforcements from Gabranth have yet to reach the Bozjan southern front. Exactly. Even as we speak, allies from both Dalmasca and Nancha endeavour to halt their advance. I really hope we get to go to Dalmasca and Nancha at some point. Nevertheless, our foes on the Bozjan front have Gunhild's blades at the command, giving them the upper hand. Would that there were a way to free them from Misija's control. There may yet be hope, Marsak. I recently received word from Scions that a cure for their affliction has been found. However, the procedure would require a great deal of preparation, and that is to say nothing of the difficulty in employing the treatment in combat. If only I hadn't been captured by Misija, none of this would have happened. The fault lies with me. I am the one who failed to see through her deceit. You are not to blame for any of this. It's true she's very hot. I would fail to see through her deceit. I'd be overwhelmed by her presence. No use mooning about feeling sorry for yourself. Next you'll be saying we should never have reforged the blades of Gunhild. I do hope I'm pronouncing that right. Commander, we've received word of yet another summoning. Mikoto, wait. Where are you going? Must be the summonings, but we can think about that later. Please, Maeve, you've got to stop her. Pardon me, sorry. Big yawns, God, I'm tired. I have to say, really like how that looks. Not on Maeve, obviously, but on our shard, I do. If I wasn't so attached to the spear he already has, I would give him something like this, just because I really like the fact that it's just a morning star on a spear. My sort of thing. Ooh, also, I don't know. I need to talk to Zlatan. Bugger. I'm gonna have to look this up. Resistance weapon FF14. Resistance weapons quest chain. Here we go. Sorry, okay, right. Oops. Wanted. Bear with me, I'm just going to open up the list of quests so that I don't get mixed up. Easily confused. Quests. Nuclear Mage. Okay, right. Cool. Okay, so we have to finish the main story and then we pick that up. I just wanted to check, you know? I want to know what the new stuff looks like as well, if I'm honest. There we go. Hi, Sheros. Enter the Bozjan Southern Front. We'll unfortunately be doing this solo. But I don't think there's any like farming to be done, so that's something at least. Right. I'm gonna look at the new stuff that's available. The main thing is the Construct 14, though those are nice as well. Oh, I do want one. Okay, I'm gonna buy Malevolence. I don't care about saving up for the mount. That's where you get it from. Oh my god. I love it. You can't like move and do it at the same time. Oh well. Hi Marsak. The Queen were to appear, we'd only be a burden. You must go on without us. Okay. Don't have anything. I do like the Bozjan gear, I'm just like not super attached to it, you know? Anyway, where are we off to? Let's travel then to Alana's stand. Get out of here. Go. I understand why you can't fly, but I still miss it. I'm so glad that you don't have to like grind up in order to get the bloody ability to the ability to have to use in one's mount. That's a bigger boy. I don't precisely know. Okay. It is up here. I was thinking, desperately hope it's not down there, because that guy is gonna fucking tear me in two. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. She is. I love her so much. Live one, traitor. Don't, Voron. You'll only provoke her. How the tables have turned. Now, hold still. This won't hurt a bit. Wait, please, don't. Something wrong, Misija? You've spared 2 of your captives. Oh shit. Do it. Listen, I don't care that she is evil. I still love her a lot. Apologies. Seems I misspoke. If you come to bark orders, don't bother. The next step in my plan has already been set in motion. Now, if you'll excuse me. I really want one of those flyers. Certainly hope she knows what she's doing. That icon of hers is all we have left to buy us time until reinforcements arrive. But what on earth could this new plan of hers be? Oh, I do so love a good scheme. Alas, I've been strictly forbidden from helping her. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let us return to Gangos. I have seen more than enough. Oh. Huh? Makoto can see into the future, can't she? Unlike us, who can see into the past. I think. Ooh, I like this. Not another step. We have you surrounded. Like that we're just standing there like, sup? So for Misija, we know full well the crystal's power is spent. Dun dun dun. Distracted by the palm floating in the, like, shifting in the air there. Another vision. Did you see it too? Come, Maeve. We must inform the others. So it just struck me that her thingy and our weapons look quite similar. go, sweet go. Ah, bugger. Wasn't paying attention. I always forget how much I like the music in here. It's been so long since, like, I've been in here with music on. It is really good though. Put it out here until leave me alone. Fine. Fine. I'm being distracted. I'm thinking about how much I like Misija. Square Enix really well, like, hey, we're gonna finally have a female Rokugan be a main part of the story again, but also she's gonna be evil and you're going to love her anyway. It's fun to see Bozja so busy again. Now that the Blade colony has arrived, would you care to elucidate your findings, Mikoto? To speak plainly, I believe the apparition summoned at Castrum Lacus Litore, and again on the southern front, is not what we call an icon or a primal, not in the strictest sense of the term. Hell are you talking about, lass? I've heard me fair share of tales about primals, and what you've told me about this Queen Gunhilda fits the description to a bloody tittle title. According to our reports, Queen Gunhilda willed the power of the blade, not to summon a god, but to become one so that she could protect our people. So she made herself a vessel for its power then? Misija claimed that after the Fourth Umbral calamity was averted, the Queen was able to return to her mortal form. Tales passed down through the age state much the same. It appears Queen Gunhilda was able to call upon its power at will. But that would mean that a living vessel is required to wield the blade's true power, but that does not explain why it instead manifested in the form of Queen Gunhilda. Based on our experience in the Castrum and what we observed on the Southern Front, I believe the blade was imbued with the Queen's memories in the form of ether at the moment of her death, and that the crystal focus was used to draw them out. Does that not sound familiar, Maeve? Ether absorbed into a vessel and thereafter used to call forth unspeakable monstrosities? It's Evilise. Precisely. It is a phenomenon quite similar to the Orosite we discovered in Rabanasti. As you may recall, Argarth Adalthus harboured a burning desire to rule, which was made manifest in the ruins of Lassalia. It was the same for my brother, Bargamna. His guilt over the deaths of the prince and princess served as catalyst for his own grisly transformation. A fight I still suck at to this day. We'll just sit here and explain as much as I remember and understood from the Evilise reads, which wasn't much. From what we've learned of the Holy Blade thus far, it has much in common with Orosite. This is merely conjecture, but I suspect that the Save the Queen was actually crafted from Auracite in order to amplify the desires of whoever wields it. But who would be capable of such a feat? I cannot say with any certainty, but together with the crystal foci, it is reminiscent of ancient Allegan technology. How it found its way into the hands of the Bozjans is anyone's guess. Now hold on a bleeding minute. Let me see if I'm understanding this right. Thanks, Geralt, because I ain't. You're saying the thing you saw in the castrum weren't no primal, but a mere sliver of the Queen's ether, what was left over in the blade? Seems like it, but on the other hand, Misija can keep conjuring up as many times as she wants. Considering what it was designed for, that shade of the Queen is the least of our worries. Indeed, Misija's ultimate goal is likely to become a vessel for the blade's power, much like the Queen did to avert the Fourth Umbral Calamity. Without preparation, Maeve could likely vanquish the shade of Gunhilda, but if Misija should succeed in bringing the full power of the blade to bear, I would expire. Tsukiyomi already takes that out of me. You're suggesting there's a chance they could lose? Possible. Why, I can't even count the number of stories I've heard of Maeve's god-slaying adventures. What's one more notch on the belt? I'd rather it not come to that. Thankfully, Misija has yet to find a store of crystal suitable for her plans. And I doubt she will, for the time being at least, if the blade was designed in like manner to the crystal foci. We must act now, while there is still time. My hair is done butting. New entries have been added to the field record. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, where is it? Collection, here we go. Let's read our new ones. Here's the new ones. Liltra, a new recruit to Garland Ironworks, Liltra first awakened her talents as an engineer while receiving the imperial education in her native Rabanastre. Her academic accomplishments won her acceptance to the prestigious Magitech Academy in the imperial capital, but as she could relocate to commence her studies, resistance forces launched a large-scale offensive that transformed Rabanastre into a battlefield. The young Viera was forced to seek refuge in Doma, where she stained herself by repairing machina and designing custom contraptions. Word of her uncommon expertise chanced to reach the visiting Jessie, who offered her a place at the Ironworks. Having been an admirer of the organisation due to its part in the liberation effort, she accepted without a moment's hesitation. Despite her cheery and optimistic facade, Liltra was a conflicted soul. Like no few Damascan orphans, she was taken into imperial care and underwent schooling intended to instill a sense of allegiance to Garlemald. And while most of her peers remained fiercely loyal to their homeland, only giving their tutors lip service, Liltra could not muster up the same passion. For though she could not approve of Garlean rule, it seemed to her that the alternative, a Damascan monarchy, would not improve the lot of the common man. Further blurring the lines of her loyalty was the respect she came to hold for the occupying 4th Legion, which did not forcibly conscript civilians to its ranks. During a public address, its commander, Legatus von Gabranth, proclaimed that it forced each man to use their talents to forge their own way in life. Liltra was amongst those present when those words were uttered, and they spoke to her more than any nation standard ever could. Nevertheless, she could ill turn a blind eye to the many wrongs the Garleans committed against those they subjugated. All of this served to make Liltra a woman who opposed the Empire, yet not strong enough to take up arms against it, the seeming contradiction giving rise to a storm of self-doubt. In joining the Ironworks, however, she was able to quell her inner turmoil by focusing on a new objective, to simply be herself, a free spirit, unburdened by whatever chaos may unfold around her. Witnessing the likes of Sid and Jessie devoting themselves to their work, she recalled the works of Van Gabranth, and duly set about using such knowledge and skill she possessed it to the best of her ability. Perhaps I was overthinking it, but what if we were to... Oh, you're definitely overthinking it, Liltra. Let's actually make the thing, shall we? Yes, I suppose you're right, Jessie. There was one other idea I had. Wagi is a member of the resistance group Lentes Tears, serving as their liaison with the Eastern Alliance. Versed in the workings of Machina, he's also charged with the maintenance of the airship Lassar. Despite being a fusilier by training, Wagi struggled to master the slender swords employed by the style. He compensates for this weakness with his superior marksmanship, which sees him unerringly strike targets even with short-barreled weapons. As a young banker, Wagi was scarcely a soldier-blooded when he fought the Empire as part of the Damascan rule of Fusiliers. When the kingdom fell, his unit was incorporated into the Imperial Army, but he was disinclined to serve as conquerors, choosing instead to embark upon a rambling journey. While he had many a memorable moment during his wanderings, nothing is so close to his heart as his visit to the industrial city of Abdella in Gallian-occupied Atlantis. As he strolled through the streets, he came upon a play being performed by a troupe of Eskvan nomads, who were known as much as a source of foreign rumours as they were for the song and dance. The play was a whimsical affair depicting the love lives of ordinary folk, but to Bwagi, who'd lived his entire life under a grim pole of conflict, it was anything but ordinary. Even as he was moved by the tale, he was struck by the jovial mood of the city, which had regained normality following its conquest. This was his first experience of peace and approved Teddy. Taken by sudden longing, he begged to join the troop, only to be politely rejected. Soon thereafter, Bwagi reunited with his erstwhile comrades, and together they formed a pirating crew. But he never forgot the joy he felt that day in Abdella, and took it upon himself to lighten spirits wherever possible. His japes were often more daft than droll, but he persisted, and beamed inside for every grin he succeeded in drawing from his crewmates. Alas, the carefree days of reaving were not to last, for his leader, Bagamnan, would fall under the influence of the Auracite. The stone fed upon the battle-hardened Banga's burning hatred for the Empire, warping him to the draconic abomination Yasmat, and only in death was he set free. Desiring to carry on his respected brother-in-arm's legacy, Bwagi chose to lend his strength to resistance, and with this decision a grim determination returned to his countenance, where it will once more remain until such time as his homeland is free once more. I really have absolutely forgotten how to speak. I'm not sure if we can pick that up yet, so we'll do this one first, I guess. My suspicions are correct. The Misija is likely after... No, it couldn't be that. Could it? I understand Mikoto's worried about Save the Queen, and rightfully so, but if anyone can stop her, it's you. I'm sure you can... it's you. I dare not ponder what will happen should Misija find a way to wield the full power of Save the Queen. We must stop her before that can happen. What is mysterious object? I've got to cut my hand, that's really annoying. If Misija yet lacks what is required to fulfill her plans, then we must either wrest the blade from her grasp or destroy it. Should the situation call for it, we may need to cut her down in the process. What if it were possible to take both Misija and the blade into our custody without conflict? As I understand it, there have been markedly fewer sightings of the Queen's apparition, correct? Yes, and with good reason. With no means of combating such a foe, our troops have barely set foot outside the encampments. I believe that Misija has her own reasons for making only sporadic appearances. She must use the crystal focus to conjure Queen Gunhild, and therein lies the rub, for its reserves of ether are not without limitation. Then perhaps she fears the crystal focus nears exhaustion, but what prevents us from simply restoring its ether and resuming her assault? Well, it just so happens the crystal focus requires ether of a very specific sort. We were only able to find one source, and that's still depleted from when we used it. Before we returned, Maeve and I chanced to spy Misija commanding Queen Gunhild to enslave a group of soldiers, but the apparition vanished after turning only one of them. I suspect the crystal lacked the energies necessary to complete the task. That's all well and good, lass, but Misija ain't no fool. Until she figures out how to get the crystal focus working again, she won't be showing her face again. She will. At least I think she will. Maeve and I shared another vision of the future. Where this weird thing happened. Heading to the ruins in the midst of a storm? But for what? Dun dun dun. I just realised she holds her hand up to her bunny ear and not like her. Looks like that part of the vision is already true. Thunderclouds are gathering above the southern front and a nasty downpour won't be far behind. Then we must make ready before the rains come in earnest. Marsak, ready the men. I understand your trepidation, Mikoto, but you must have faith in your gift. We will stop Misija, I promise you that. It was not by Maeve's hand alone that we survived our ordeal in Rabanasta, lest you forget. We each have our part to play, and yours is no less important than any other. Speaking of which, you best join the others and set out before the rains come. Yes, of course. I do like Mikoto, I have to say. So we do the will to resist and fit for a queen. And then we have the next relic weapon. Okie dokie. Let's go. Everything appears to be in order. Are you ready, Maeve? Cutscene warning time. Oops. Whoops. And I saw Hrothgar's tail and I was like, am I ready? Am I ready? I was waiting for you. They come. Must be really weird having the ability to see in the future and know that if you say, this is what I saw, then it will happen. I love this so much. Sorry for that. I like how that gun looks, I have to say. Not another step. We have you surrounded. It must be nice for them. They only had to animate the cutscene once. It's over, Misija. We know full well the crystal's power is spent. Like that we just strut out there. Ah. Luck in a time. A trap? Come out, Makoto. I know you're here. You thought your visions of the future would offer an advantage, but you're not the only one possessed of such gifts. Not any longer. Oh, Scholar you may be, but you were a fool to come here. Your precious knowledge will avail you naught against the kiss of gold steel. Do not be unnerved. Without the Queen to aid them, victory may yet be ours. To arms! I don't want to beat her up. I want her to beat me up. Try not to be too It's just I have strong feelings and all of them are, yes please, femras. Some healing would be really nice, Makoto. Just saying. Thanks. You won't find mercy here. Why? Good thing I ain't looking for it, you know? Nice. Happy buff. An admirable effort, Basilgen. I'll give you that. Admirable, but futile nonetheless. Ready the Delta armor. New Magic armor? When do they find the time to... No matter, we've come too far to retreat now. We must divide and conquer. Blade Connolly, I will draw this one's attention. I will see to Misija. The remaining Magitech armor is yours. What if I want to see to Misija? You know? Like, if considered. Cast. Didn't work. Please heal me. Meow. I'm not even in. It's a. Was hard. Oh yeah, because I'm in a like a solo event. I can't even use one of my lost actions. Short cast is not up yet. Please don't need me to hit it. Go. Nice. Well, have you broken the lock yet? Yes, ma'am. Opening it now. I asked Oster earlier if Misija was in this bit of the story, and Oster goes yes, and then goes hee hee, as it were. So I'm excited. Hope you don't mind me butting in. Don't know who this is. Rustic, what are you doing here? Couldn't let you lot have all the fun. Another one come crawling out of the woodwork. Gunhild's blades to me. You're to protect this blade with your lives in the name of the Queen. Where are they going? Nice. Go on ahead. Leave their toys to us. Cool. We'll be right behind you. Now go. Mikoto needs you. Nice. You can now participate in the 24-player GT della Romagine, or as an alliance by launch of leaving the underground ruins. Lost actions to be used after entering. That's lost actions. Ow. Ow, I said, biting my own nail. Okay. I've read about a lot of that earlier, so. There we go. Guess everyone's running it at the moment. I'm really glad it's done this way, that it's done as a queue. Because you could then ostensibly like queue for it while doing other stuff in Bozja. Possibly. Or no, because it's separate you probably can't, but... Della Brunreginae. Sorrow of the Queen, I think. Ah, Sanctuary of the Queen, I was entirely wrong. And as expected, there is of course a naked bunny. I really should have stay with what I've got. I will, however, use I'll use an essence of the ordained. Right. Treasure coffers appear in separate wards for each player. If you search a weapon and you find as you fight your way through the ruins, possible to reform duty to one to take this duty, however, your alliance has been temporarily disbanded. Oh, I see. So if you come in on an alliance, they will disband. Elegant armor and a mana reminiscent of glass. I don't know why somebody put those up, given that I have literally no idea what they're for and I'm completely new, so. verdant path? Then this is an amalgamation of... Oh no! Before our blade, you are nothing. I see. You would forgo our mercy, then suffer our baleful blade. That looks non-ideal, I'll be honest. It's too late for you. Oh, I see, I see, I see. Thank goodness for puppies to follow, huh? Okay, and I guess you either want to shortcast or be knocked back there so you don't get knocked into the ick, as it were. Someone just straight up died there. We shall break you with fists of iron. Looks bad. I don't know what to do, so I'm going to... Oh, I see. I get it. I need to stand on the one that he's not fisting, I guess. It's not the word I should have used, but oh well. By the way, when we're out of this, I'm going to try a thing, so bear with me. I'm going to do an experimenting. Always when I'm in bloody Firebird. What that means. Plucky name, ha ha ha. I should know what these abilities are, but no. No. Earthshakers? There is no need to fear the natural Earthshakers. Okay. So we want to stand on the blue one, I think. Yes. And now we want to stand on the gold one. Now. Submit that we might offer you a merciful end. dislike that it's called Act of Mercy, I'll be honest here. Okay. Ah, I see. We want to... Ow. Ugh, my metals. Oh, loads of people are dead, and I don't have Shorecast up for a while. Up. There we go. Right. I'll get knocked back into that. Or not knocked back at all. Well, I guess if you're further back, maybe you get less hit by it. What do you do with these? Ah, well. Dead. Can't see anyone. Oh. Didn't even see what he did there. It's just a whole bunch of us were suddenly dead. Maybe I'll get some kindness of strangers for this. Probably not, but you never know. Crowd in with these guys. They seem to know where they're going. I shall trust them. So much metal. Oh, I see. I said, oh, I see, and then realised I absolutely did not. Shall I bring this of iron? I pray your spirit may find rest. Nice. I care not for the strange energy emanating from the floor. Really are like traps everywhere. Have these creatures always lived down here, I wonder? I wish you did not have to fight, but I fear they leave us little choice. Goodness, pardon me. Someone early pull, now the rest of us must suffer. We are openers anyway. Squeaking is very required. Okay. Let's see. Move into the middle just because I don't trust that. I see. I think. They really do like this twisty-turny disposability, don't they? Those drop on people and you're supposed to bait them. Here we go. Oh, come on, a bit closer. There we go. Sorry, I'm being quiet as I often am when doing new things because I'm having to concentrate. Here we go. I should have shortcasted there. I wonder if it stops you getting stuns if you shortcast. I wonder if that red mage helped with the rezzing at all. There. They started speaking probably too soon. Nice. Last snow box. Oh yeah. There is a box that's hiding. Oh. That noise was the... Okay. Move that over there. Okay, apparently we need 100 of them. It seemed they're intent on blocking our path. So we need 100 to get a gold coin, which allows us to get the gear. Okay. Lots of grinding that I probably can't be asked to do because I'm not really that fussed about the gear. Halt. By order of Queen Konghover. They too under the influence of Save the Queen? I suppose we have no choice but to fight. Maybe? No? Okay. Don't know what's happening. Got the wrong pet out. Everything's great. I understand what that is, I just don't yet understand how to avoid it. Also, our tank is dying a lot. I don't think tanks are supposed to do that. God, that done up hurt. Oh, I see. Okay, I think I got it. Better than I did before, at least. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't understand. Okay, so we want to be not near bombs. Seems fairly sensible. How do we work out which ones? Well, oh, okay, you want to stand near the small ones because they fall first. What 3 healers, they should be able to pick up our tank that keeps dying. I think if I res Cupcake Goddess, she'll buy me a cupcake. Or make me one. We've made mistakes. I followed those puppies. I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna stand with these guys, I guess? No. Okay. No idea how that worked, but the butterflies. We want to I think. I'm sacrificing myself. Yes, nice. In the name of seeing if I've got it right. I have to say, I really like, it seems a lot like in this game, in this one rather, Square Enix have taken all of the things that they were not so great about Castrum and like definitely fixed them. So I want this guy. Or not, they're gonna die. And he's gonna appear. I'm not going to get my hit off in time, but that's okay. Shield Omen, that sounds bad. We want to be in? Or we get knocked back? Yes, okay. And then I guess Sword Omen is out. Just guessing. Okay. So don't that. Tank Rockstar. You shall perish long before our defences are breached. This does not bode well, Maeve. We have to stop them. Okay. think I understand. Sort of, maybe. Nice. Let's get to resin. Nice. More field notes. Observation. Oh, let's not stand there. Spirits, even in death they are denied solace. Let's lay them to rest. Spooky. Version Phantom. I'm actually knock off stream early today. I'm really tired. I want to wake up early tomorrow and get my reading for Thursday's class done before tomorrow morning's class. If I get my reading done during the week, then on the weekend I can work on my papers for Monday. 2 of them. Breathe my asthma. Okay, well this looks non-ideal, but I'm going to stand where the puggies are standing. Oh, I see. Ow. Malediction of agony. I understand how that works. Just... God, oh Jesus, oh Lord. Thank you, Red Mage, who's on impugned earlier. See. You know what? I'm just going to focus on surviving. I can get out of here. Too many snacks will result in doom. That it's called excruciation. That's worrisome. It's just a tank buster there. me move immediately. I'm going to move into this lane, but I'm not going to... Yeah, right, okay. This was a mistake. I'm going to regret it, but... Nice. At last, our souls may rest. Happy coin. I do like that people are just standing right on the traps rather than taking like any pains to avoid them. Have care where you step. I sense more foul magics nearby. Careful, there may yet be more traps here. I really hope these count for kindness to strangers. Next time I read somebody who's not in your party or alliance. Given that it's not technically an alliance. Whoops, I absolutely missed what she said there. Another one of the tempered blades. Gods, what has Misija done? She also says, I believe the West is past. There's still no signs of Misija. Bozja. Oh, this is alarming. Gloria Bozja. Raid wide, okay. No matter the cost, you must be dealt with. A ruin of ice and fire upon me. Okay. Yeah, I guess I want to be... Proceed through all combinations to help us. Seek one whose temperature is the opposite. There we go. Okay. I see. Surrender now, and perhaps we will show mercy. Definitely misread that as Flame of Boots. Should have mentioned this at the start of the stream, by the way. I'm not going to be doing the new Blue Mage stuff. I'm really far behind on Blue Mage. I haven't really leveled it on any character yet, so... Well, I know not to do that now. Get a cold debuff. I'll follow everyone else who has that. So rude. So fucking rude. It's always right after I hit Lucid as well, because Lucid's the very first thing I hit when I come up. How come Makota doesn't get hit? It's not fair. It's magic to walk to the blade somehow. That was rude. I'm gonna slow res. No, okay, in that case I will slow res Rachel. Next to an ice. I don't know what that did. Oh. Oh, damn. Surrender now, and perhaps we will show mercy. I guess everyone's just agreed to leave the tank dead, even though they keep dying. I'll pick them up when Swift is up. Other people who also have cold. Okay. Here, I think. Nice. Okay, I'll pick up the tank now. I love hitting to put my dots on and then they just don't. It's my favourite thing in the world, I have to say. Just follow where everyone else goes at this point. Okay, so I need to warm up to your max. I guess I want to stand here. Oh fuck, I want to stand on that side. No! You. Well, I'm going to die when this fades. Going to die this time, despite the amount of metal that I have lost, but I suppose that's par for the course. And whatever cost, you must be dealt with. For ages. I guess it's because people keep dying, but speaking of which, I don't know how to. Magic become flesh, a redoubtable vessel to fulfill her dream, or whatever she just said. How am I meant to? Do you stand in the middle? I don't get that hot and cold mechanic. I'll be honest, I'm gonna have to watch a guide on that one. Yeah, I meant to check if that counted for my kindness to strangers, and I absolutely forgot. I'll check after this fight. You were on 40 before. Oh, I nearly walked entirely the wrong way. There we go. I nearly but didn't walk into the bad. I'm so glad that it auto matches you, I have to say. Makes life much, much easier. Also, very glad I'm not healing this. I would not be able to handle it. Loki Corgi is AFK. It does count. Sick. Right. Watch me just run this for ages to get Kindness of Strangers up. Wow. Big crystal. At last, the power to reclaim what is mine, what is ours. Oh my god. The will of Queen Gunhilda must not be denied. All who oppose Bozja must fall. Vengeful icon. They call me. Oh my god. God, fucking go. By the gods, she's become the vessel for the blade's power. Jesus Christ, I'm gay. Sexual. My hands are also very sweaty for some reason. She's become a vessel for the blade's power. Maeve, I'm afraid she must be slain. There is no other way. Oh my god, this like fucked up music is so cool. I just realised I absolutely forgot how my rotation works. It's great. I was thinking about how cool she is and how much I like this music, and then I lost my land. Lady of Blades, bring forth my betrayers. I don't know why I missed that dialogue there. Forth my betrayers, fear of hearts, return them to glory. Hearken out of the crown call of war. The time for battle has come. Prepare yourself, Maeve. She compels them to war. March. Okay. Glad that, like, Osterby is, yeah, she is, wink wonk, hee hee, it's very accurate. Fuck. I was thinking about giant woman with swords. Unsurprisingly, for anyone who knows me. We want to be here, I think. Yeah? Here. You think yourself beyond judgment? Mine is the just path, the righteous path, and I will not suffer a second betrayal. You're right, everyone. No. How can this be? No. I will not let it end like this. Lady of Blades, I beseech you, grant me the strength to overcome our oppressors, to reclaim what is rightfully ours. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to walk away. I don't understand. Didn't die though, so that's good. Dire consequences await those who live. Strange as the sounds, I suspect we must. Oh, me and my subjects. I missed some funky fresh dialogue there. Me the wrong way, pug. She's doing like all of the abilities. Oh. Flooding Makoto. Queen has spoken. Now march. But oh, I went too far, so now I'm going to die. I don't understand. If I'm extremely honest, I'm very confused. Think yourself beyond judgment. Managed to avoid dying that time. Oh, I'm in love with this music. I need this this scroll. Really don't know what to do there. I'm gonna have to watch a guide before I do this again. Did we mess up? No, we didn't. I genuinely also no idea how to tell that. Oh, that done our put. Oh, I see what happened. I get it. I wish it wouldn't stun you though. Like, I understand it so that you can't move, but it's really annoying. I desperately need this, this equestrian roll. I'm alive. Think yourself beyond judgment. Sacrificing DPS to res for the sake of kindness of strangers. You know it, lads. Right, this is the one that I don't understand in the slightest. Hey, I didn't get doomed that time though, so. Did get that time. I cannot work out the tells for that one. I'm just gonna stand here and get hit. Oh my god, I've lost my mouse. To be honest, I don't really get a lot of these tells, but hold on. Either that or I will follow buggies until it doesn't matter anymore. That one I understand at least. I absolutely buffed for no good reason. But at least some of the teammates got the buff. It's because I tend to use it when it's off cooldown after my opener. Nice, there we go. Phew. We've suffered too long for it to end this way. Bozja is ours. If we cannot have it, no one can. Actual queen is saying no. I refuse to believe that that's... Sorry, please be alive, Misija. I love you too much for you to die. Go. Had to get some screenshots, of course. God, I can't believe the amount of any dead puppies left? No, all alive. I don't know what's over here, except for cool tree, but I'm going to go look at the cool tree. Everyone else is like, yo, me too. How many coins did I get? 20. So 5 runs of this for an item. Okie dokie. Blade Connolly. Makoto, you alright? Me too, Makoto. Is she... No, merely unconscious. Forgot my Makoto voice there. Let us take back with us to Uya's Aegis without delay. I fear Imperial reinforcements will be upon us ere long. Crystal. It was far from easy, but thanks to the two of you, we succeeded in reclaiming Save the Queen. But it was a victory bought with great sacrifice. Under the Blade's influence, many Gunhilda's blades were transformed beyond recognition. At least now their suffering is at an end. A heavy loss for the Resistance, 'tis true, but having wrestled Save the Queen from the hands of the 4th Legion, we may resume our offensive unimpeded. And we must do so quickly, while they remain few in number. What will become of Misija? For now, she will remain in solitary confinement in Hangouts. First and foremost, we must deal with the threat of the 4th Legion. Once they've been routed, she will be made to stand trial for her crimes. Espionage, primal summoning, the tempering of Gunhild's blades, she has much to atone for. As do many of our people, I'd say, for it was the callousness and cruelty of those seeking glory of our forebears that drove her to side with the Empire. Nevertheless, it is no excuse for her transgressions. Say to Makoto, hey, I have a friend in a very... It should go without saying we mustn't allow it to fall into the wrong hands again. I thought perhaps it could be destroyed, but I've yet to leave so much as a mark on the accursed thing. I think it best if you were to take it, Makoto. No doubt its study would prove a most illuminating experience for you, unless, of course, you would rather it be locked away. I shall defer to your judgment. Makoto, no! Makoto, is something wrong? No, I'm fine. Merely tired is all. Then I bid you return to Gangos and rest. You have more than earned it. What in the world? Oh, Jesus. Fuck. Guess these are those reinforcements. Now that we command the skies, they're done for. Quickly, we must withdraw to Gangos. Don't forget the sword, Makoto. At last, victory is within our grasp. I love the way that dreadnought ships like that look. I just have such intense fondness. Past to rest. Save the Queen, chapter the 3rd. Woof! Wow. Still just thinking about how cool Misija looked and how much I love her. I knew it. Even with Save the Queen, Misija never stood a chance against you. Sorry, something's in my eye. Save the Queen is possessed of a terrible power, and under normal circumstances I'd not hesitate to recommend destroying such a relic. Considering its profound significance to the people of Bozja, however, we've instead decided to find a way to seal its powers. I'll be consulting the studium in hopes of expediting our search for suitable wood. Once we're certain of its safety, it will be returned here that it may continue to serve as a symbol of hope for the people. Imperial reinforcements we dreaded so long have arrived at last, though it remains to be seen why they yet refuse to strike. If it is true that the 4th Legion has cut ties with Garlemald, this will likely be their last attempt to drive us out. Failure is not an option. We must ready our defences and petition our Far Eastern allies for additional aid if possible. I have no doubt our next battle will decide the fate of Bozja. I will leave you to your preparations, unless there's something you'd like to discuss. Gods preserve us. I did not think they would go so far as to deploy a warship. Though the odds are stacked against us, we've come too far to abandon our home. I will send word to Lord Hien that we may begin preparations to make a final stand. If we fail, it will be the end for Bozja. When the final battle is upon us, I pray that we can count on your aid one last time. You know it, buddy. Now exchange potion coins for gear by seeking with the resistance supplier in Gangos. Speak with Thingamajig for subsequent ventures into... Just a killer queen. Okay. Right. Versus rank. Okay, so we have to be at the top for that one. Right. Time to fucking fuck up my voice reading these. Rustic is a key figure of the Bozjan resistance. Rustic fights to free his country from the tyrannical clutches of the Empire. He's the son of an elite gunbreaker who served Bozja in its days of independence, and there can be little doubt that the path he has walked has been in the footsteps of this great man, a man whom Rustic himself scarcely remembers a thing. In those days, the Gallian Empire marched mercilessly and inexorably on scattered small countries in the southern reaches of Ilsabad. Fearing for his son's safety, Rustic's father entrusted the child to his elderly master before departing from the front lines, from which he'd never return. Though hailed as a hero by his people, the man's bravery was ultimately in vain, and once proud Bozja fell under the imperial yoke. The young Rustic vowed that he would one day be strong enough to defend his beloved homeland, and devoted himself to training as a gunbreaker under the selfsame master who once taught his father, eventually being conscripted by the imperial army. "I will be my nation's shield," or so he swore to himself. Yet Rustic was doomed to suffer a fate as tragic as his father's, if not more so. While he was serving the Empire, the Bozja incident occurred, and his beloved homeland was razed to nothingness. After the fall of the citadel, Rustic wasted his chance and fled the army. For a time he fought like a beast thirsting for vengeance, launching reckless strikes against imperial forces from seemingly every direction. Yet there was a limit to what one Greek could do, no matter how skilled, against an entire army. One day Rustic was ambushed by an imperial regiment, and suffering grave wounds was left alone to die deep in the forest. In a turn of good fortune, before succumbing to his wounds, he was discovered by Basilgen, who'd seen the gunbreaker fall in battle against their common foe, and took him in, tending to his injuries. Persuaded by the cerebral resistance leader to abandon his rage-driven quest for revenge, Rustic now fights to protect his gentleman, imparting his impressive skills to a new generation of gunbreakers as mentor to subordinates. So it is that the art of gunbreaker, once in danger of an extinction, came to be preserved through the years. Indeed, the high-ranking resistance officer Malsek and Thancred, the scion, whom he met through a curious twist of fate, are among Rustic's countless pupils. Rustic continues to fight to this day, that he might see his technique handed down to posterity and his nation one day reborn. I'm always intrigued by the history of Bozja because I'm really struggling to work out. I have a character who I've decided is from Bozja originally, and I'm struggling to work out how old she is. Mikoto. An Archon of Charlian, Mikoto studied etherology at the Studium and earned her mark by her contributions to the field. When not conducting research, she can be seen lecturing at the Academy. Through the introduction of Jessie J. of Garland Ironworks, she was invited to Kugane, where she demonstrated her academic prowess in the examination of an aurosite. She'd subsequently be called to Gangos to shed light upon the nature of the crystal focus, an artifact of Bozja. Though possessed of a keen mind, Mikoto can sometimes be oblivious to her surroundings. When speaking on the subject of etherology, she has a tendency to rattle off a flurry of advanced terminology to the confusion of those present. Yet by the same token, she's not easily flustered, maintaining her composure in times of danger and duress. Like the Warrior of Light, Mikoto is blessed with the Echo, her manifestation of the power allowing her to see into the future. While resembling prophetic dreams and visions, resembling prophetic dreams and divinations, the visions that are revealed are events that cannot be changed, and given that she cannot see them at will nor clearly, Mikoto does not regard the ability as particularly useful. Mikoto has a twin sister named Kagura, but aside from their appearance and thirst for knowledge, she could not be more different from a sibling. While she is calm and measured, Kagura is headstrong and forthright. Although Kagura won her Archon's mark earlier than Mikoto, she incurred the ire of the Forum for openly criticising the policies and was ultimately stripped of her title. She left Charlian in disgust and has not been seen since. For as long as Mikoto could remember, she and Kagura did not see eye to eye, and conversations were non-existent between them. Upon entering the Studium, they both went about their own business and seldom saw each other, and it was not until Kagura was gone that Mikoto learned what had happened. Though Mikoto may have little interest in people, preferring instead the reliable company of tomes, her complete ignorance of her sister's trials underlined their estrangement. Nevertheless, Mikoto could not help but worry for her sister, and there was no fault of her own. She felt shamed for not having done more to aid her. Her anger should not go unnoticed by her senior Moenbreder, who took it upon herself to reach out to her lest she do something unadvised. Taking Mikoto under her wing, she would find every opportunity to make conversation, be it about academic matters or mundane. In time, the boisterous Rogadin will become the sister she never had, someone with whom she could share her hopes and dreams and disappointments. Their relationship was the catalyst for Mikoto to harbour an interest in others as well as the world beyond the Studium's walls. Despite Moenbreder's encouragement, it would be some years before she worked up the courage to take to the field. Even after the two had graduated, the friendship would continue, every anticipated reunion seeing them while away the hours in chatter. So it was that the news of Moenbreder's death came as a terrible shock to Mikoto. Unable to accept her friend's passing, she spent days in denial. It was only when she received a missive from Yuri Angers confirming events that painful reality set in. Baby. She wept as if her heart would break and cursed herself for having helped to create the etheric siphon. Had I only known what it was for, had I only been there. For long moons such thoughts tormented her, but one day she clenched her jaw, donned her garb, and set out into the field again. Since that day, Makoto has not shied from venturing forth, and gladly takes on tasks from outside groups such as the Scions. What matters is that she strives for the benefit of others, as her dear friend once did. The fact that she's 29 and this happened means that late 20s is probably a good age for Maeve, because I figure Maeve also studied at the academy, but I sort of figured they studied a bit later than the Scions, so they may have like known of them, but they never studied with them until like after they left. Covert, here we go. Operative at the 4th Imperial Legion charged with infiltrating the Bozjan resistance. Upon joining the resistance, you provided your name and personal history, and we're in the process of verifying the truth of those details. If there are any falsehoods, now is the time to correct them. It's regretful that the incident destroyed any evidence I might provide, but I swear the information I gave was entirely truthful. Why then did you betray the resistance to your enemy? Why turn traitor? I was never on your side to begin with. My mission was to infiltrate your ranks. Sent to spy on us. Correct. And what was your objective? I was to ensure the forging of the resistance weapons and the reformation of Gunhild's blades. Once the Queen was safely in the possession of the 4th Imperial Legion, the plan was to summon the icon and bend it to our will. An elaborate scheme that ultimately ended in failure. Have you learned from your mistakes? My only mistake was to underestimate the talents of Ayortio's champion. I knew that Asia's powers were essential to delve into memories, but never did I dream that the renowned Liberator would become so integral to the process. Or perhaps Makoto simply felt uneasy, and sending him was a means to guarantee the success of our work. Whichever the case, your operation is in shambles. What will the Legion do now? I haven't the slightest idea, and even if I did know, why would I tell you? As we've discussed many times before, you have no reason to revive the nation we seek to build. It will be a society in which every citizen is treated as equal, where poverty and bigotry are evils of the past, and yet still you choose to work against us. Altering the course of this country will not be a simple matter of claiming its helm. Establishing new laws and enforcing your ideals will be done amidst a storm of protest. Who in their right mind would oppose us? Consider the situation from my perspective. The Imperials have imposed their order upon Bozja for half a century, but have all their subjects been accepted their rule as I have? Do all enjoy the same treatment, same standing? The Empire invaded us. Even if its laws were just, we could not help but chafe beneath the yoke of its occupation. Your comparison is flawed. And I say it as two sides of the same coin. Even should you seize control and attempt to reform what you see as or evil, there will always be those who cry oppression. Find that hard to believe. Then you lack imagination. Many folk are short-sighted and resistant to change. Some will prove so stubborn that you will have to kill them before they accept the new order you hope to impose, even as you plan to kill me. Your punishment is yet to be decided. A military court will deliberate your fate once a nation has been liberated. A foregone conclusion. Why even bother to discuss it further? You are not beyond redemption. Do not tease me with talk of salvation. If you mean to execute me, then bring out the headsman's axe. I mean to save you. We both have our convictions, and mine do not demand your death. You are a gentle soul. People such as you and Battlejon are the pure stream trickling through the mud and muck which now suffocates poor Bozja. I pray that the source of your kindness never runs dry. The document records the interrogation of covert operative Misija as conducted by liaison officer Appella 3 days after the subject was apprehended. Several remarks herein have been flagged as inappropriate for resistance personnel, and the file is to be stored in the full clearance only section of the archives. So gay. Gunhild was both name and title, inherited by every queen who ruled over Bozja of old. The last potentate to be ordained as such, the last Queen Gunhilda in history, was born, Nevambia Wojciak, an ancient ancestor of Misija. The bloodline of the Wojciak tribe has given rise to generation after generation of seers, and thus when a 7-year-old November showed signs of great promise, she was taken to study at the shrine. She learned to read the stars in the wind and divine secrets and numbers. She immersed herself in prayer, spiritualism, and the performance of sacred dance. The reward for her devotions was a place among the 12 shrine maidens, the personal servants of Queen Gunhilda. The shining era came to an abrupt end, however, when the hubris of the Allegan Empire brought about the fourth Umbral calamity. Bozja was plunged into chaos as great earthquakes caused the land to buckle and shift, the ragged rents in the ground spewing forth plumes of flame. In a desperate bid for self-preservation, the ruling class agreed that the power of Save the Queen should be invoked, and a champion summoned forth to deliver Bozja from destruction. But Queen Gunhilda, knowing that her essence and identity would be consumed by the ritual, refused their entreaties. Thus stymies, the statesman raised Nevambia to the throne with unprecedented haste, being their disposable figurehead with the power to wield the sacred blade. Meaning pure and selfless in the old tongue, Nevambia was true to her name. Though unaware of the reason behind her rapid ascension, she dutifully took up the sword and poured her life energies into the weapon. In answer to her sacrifice, a mighty entity was made manifest, and Bozja and her people were saved. What the instigators of this miracle did not anticipate was that the humble shrine maiden would survive the rite and return to her mundane form. In November flowed the blood of seers, and with her heritage came the power of the echo. Though she'd received no formal training in the art, she would often see visions of the past of others, talent she never questioned or sought more than her birthright. But it was this very blessing which sheltered her soul from dominating the presence of entity and allowed her to wield its might as she saw fit. This revelation filled the statesmen with abject terror. They plotted to murder the young queen with Gunhilda's sword and struck when she was most vulnerable. Believing that act to be righteous, that none could hold such tremendous power and remain uncorrupted, the common folk did nothing to defend her. Even as she lay dying, watching the lifeblood sweep out across the floor, November did not curse her assassins. She knew her ethereal strength was unnatural, unpredictable, had to be contained lest Bozja suffer further devastation. She would die secure in the knowledge that her people were safe. That was enough. And at that instant, a blinding light issued forth from the blade. November had, for one brief moment, wished to live just a little longer, and as the soul slipped away from her body, both a fervent desire and a small portion of her ether were drawn into the sacred sword. The first sight that Master Bozja's queens beheld upon her resurrection was a circle of Gunhilda's blades. Am I to be slain once more, then? Towering waves of rage, grief, and rancour such as he never felt before surged within her. Why must my life be forfeit? Consumed by emotion, raw and unchecked, November unleashed her will. They shall kneel before me in worship. I am Gunhilda, their queen. But another November watched the scene unfold in horror, her unheard voice screaming out unprocessed. This is wrong, this cannot be. Trapped within her own mind was the November from the days before she was crowned, the November who would do anything to protect her beloved Bozja. She understood that to take life, even though the violence was to forge a chain of vengeance, and the chain would stretch on and on until all was strangled within its links. Enthralled at the behest of Misija, these three members of Gunhilda's blades, Aggie, Velibor, and Blaz, had been warped even further, their bodies meshed into a single abhorrent entity which serves the queen without question. Several months north of the harbour city of Martvey, Dutch, I see. The land rises into a series of gently rolling hills. At the top of the highest slope looms a massive wall, an imposing barrier constructed of closely fitting limestone blocks and as thick as the outstretched arms of two grown hears. Scarcely a quarter of the original edifice remains, however, with the scars of centuries plainly evident upon its crumbling facades. Once beyond this encircling wall, a small settlement can be found nestling between the two hills. This compound houses the illustrious martial school known as the Verdant Path. The school encompasses what was once a Bozjan shrine, the many spires of the central building marking the site where a host of holy men and women would practice their devotions. When not engaged in spiritual endeavours, it is said they tempered their bodies with physical training, a rudimentary fighting style upon which the Verdant Path was later founded. When the Gallian Empire invaded, adherents of the school rose up in strength to defend the city-state of Bozja. As the incursion rolled on, however, Bashvan Gabrath, then the goddess of the Fourth Legion, came to lament the slaughter of so much promising martial talent. He promised the Verdant Path amnesty and protection if it would but swear fealty to the Empire. The schoolmaster accepted, and by surrendering himself to the invaders' justice, were his colleagues allowed to continue their instruction. One such teaching was the technique of 3 as 1. It was simple in concept, yet difficult to master, requiring 3 disciples to synchronize their actions in order to fell their opponents far too powerful to engage alone. During their training days, Blaz and Velibor were ever on the lookout for the third to complete their 3 as 1 trial. Their incomparable skill, however, meant that none of their fellows could ever measure up to them in contest. Only one disciple refused to admit defeat, rising to her feet again and again. That student was Aggie, a girl who came to the school as an orphan, ragged and withdrawn, but now lit up the room with her infectious grin. Blaz and Velibor loved her as a little sister, and it was for this very reason that they were hesitant to add her to their ranks. The day was near when Bozja would rise in rebellion, and the Verdant Path would lend its strength to resistance. And what sort of brother would drag his younger sibling off to war? Once so brimful of promise, she'd be spared the horrors of such a battle, where the blood would answer for blood in unrelenting conflict. Yet Aggie was not to be turned from her chosen path. She earned the rank of master and trained until she was able to claim one of every 3 matches she fought against the cousins. Blaz and Velibor were compelled to recognise her achievements and at last accepted her as their third. Their decision was swayed not by Aggie's desire to fight, but their need to protect her. If she insisted, they must. They swore to be a shield, come what may. And what twisted fate did come. They exist now as the Trinity Seeker. 3 as 1, forevermore. Picked up. Queen Soldier, Knight, Gunner, and Warrior. All 4 were once members of Gunhilda's Blades, and all 4 now serve the Queen as her unquestioning thralls. Mladen the Vanished. Before his recruitment as the Queen Soldier, this unfortunate hearthrug was known as Mladen. A second-generation Bozjan refugee born and raised in Doma, Mladen learned the art of the ninja before joining the Liberation Front. In the days which followed the retaking of Doma Castle, he crossed over to Bozja to pledge his strength of Vasaljan, where he taught ninjutsu to his new allies and gathered intelligence on the 4th Imperial Legion. Mladen was absent from the ill-fated assault on Castrum Marcus the Torre, having been part of a unit deployed to northern Bozja, but tragedy caught up to him nonetheless when he was later enthralled on the southern front. A solitary man with no living relatives, he'd often quipped that he could fall in battle with a light heart, for there were none to mourn his passing. Perhaps in some buried corner of his present cursed existence, that I thought yet brings him comfort. Once a noted member of the Resistance, Addis the Spirited now stands hollow and obedient as the Queen's Knight. Addis hailed from Dernbeck, a remote region of Bozja. After receiving the standard imperial education, he served in the Gallian army as a centurion until the Bozja incident drove him into the arms of the Resistance. Although a commander of men, the hot-blooded Hrothgar was infamous for charging ahead into the enemy's midst, whereby he called out rival officers to engage in simple combat. Such selfless bravery inspired his men and demoralised the foe, and no few young Bozjans sought to follow his example. His final act was to fight a rearguard action on the southern front, ensuring the escape of as many allies as possible until the Queen's undeniable ether overwhelmed him at last. When the survivors reached the safety of Hangouts, their wails of grief echoed through the encampment. They'd lost the best of them, and the entire company, their faces streaked with tears, wished they could have fallen in his stead. The Queen's warrior is the ether-corrupted form of a Resistance member, Tugain the Swift-Ram. As a true-born Bozjan who could trace the lineage back to one of the nation's ruling families, Tugain was afforded the rights of a free citizen in an imperial society, a privileged position she discarded in favour of joining the Resistance. Ostensibly one of the noble classes despised by Misija, she herself never belittled the common folk through word or deed, and although her habitual reticence often led to misunderstanding, she was in truth the staunchest supporter of Basiljan's efforts to impose a fair and balanced social order. In battle, this imposing Rogadin would wade into enemy ranks like a war goddess incarnate, swinging an axe longer than she was tall with terrifying ease. Made for me! Even before his transformation to the Queen's Gunner, Ratimir the Pale was feared amongst his enemies as a harbinger of death. A hunter who dwelled in the wilds of Bozja, Ratimir left his simple life to take up arms against the Empire when the citadel was destroyed. As he saw it, imperial hubris had led to the deaths of countless innocents, and he would not leave his countrymen unavenged. Already skilled in the use of firearm, his was a natural progression to the role of Resistance marksman. Ratimir's legend began on the night an imperial company assaulted the encampment of Gorbrava. The surprise onslaught threw the Resistance ranks into helpless confusion, the lack of a coherent defence elevating the offensive into outright slaughter. The survivors rallied and sought to win free of the attackers, but the net was drawn too tightly to escape. As they waited grimly for their demise, one of the advancing Imperials suddenly slumped to the ground. From the Stygian darkness beyond the flame-lit camp, the sound of a firearm cracked again and again, and each time it spoke, another Imperial soldier fell. The death toll mounted, and it was now the aggressor's turn to feel the cold grip of panic. If they could have faced that inky veil, they might have spied the determined features of Ratimir as he methodically dismounted the encircling force. When morning came and the wary Resistance troops surveyed the carnage, they found 36 Imperial corpses with bullet wounds to the head. Ratimir the Pale, Ratimir the living legend. How fortunate for the Queen to come into possession of so formidable a weapon. It's fucked up. Hi, Geralt. Made it back in one piece though, Maeve. Same goes for Misija, except she's been taken off to the jails. Suppose that'll be the last we'll be hearing of Queen of Gunhilda and all. That save the Queen should be returned to us at last. Words cannot well express our gratitude, but that's not to say our work is finished. Far from it. We were lucky enough to be given a look at the blade itself. To say it's perfect is a damn understatement, and its capacity for memory is unlike anything I've ever seen. Quality I reckon's worth trying to replicate. We could never hope to match the efficacy of Save the Queen, there is no denying that, but if there is even the slimmest possibility of improving the Resistance weapons, we must try. Aye, and if it all goes to plan, we can do a mite more than simply increase their power. See no reason why the memories can't be used to better attune the weapons to the one wielding them. Excuse me, but I think I misheard you. Did you say that the Resistance weapons can be not only refined, but tailored specifically to Maeve's preferred style of combat? In theory. Finer details can be hammered out later. First, we need to see about increasing the weapon's capacity for memories. See, might you humour me with a few further explanation of your plans? There may be something in my research that proves of use in the refinement process. Rowena's got me in enough of a bind to this, and relying on one of her lackeys is only going to make things worse. Then again, I haven't much say in the matter, do I? I don't know what accent I'm doing for Geralt anymore. It should be northern, but I can't do a good northern accent except for the bits that slipped into my normal accent, so settle that for now. Let's talk about the job at hand. If any of this is going to work, I'll have to recast your weapon. I've got a shape in mind, so when I'm ready in the forge, I need you to go and gather more memories of the dying. Bugging me if I knew where to find him, though. Might be your Lord Zatro here, Can. No, that ain't right. No, don't tell me. For the last time, my name is... never mind. If it pleases you, Blade Connolly, we may speak on the matter of memories later. Apparently they're a lot easier to get this time around than they were before, which is pretty sick. We would ask you to gather more memories while we see to preparations for a new weapon casting. With regard to what manner of memory would be appropriate for this late endeavour, we may discuss that when you're ready to depart. change of arms, I think. So we'll summoner. And to take this quest as summoner. You ready to seek out memories for your weapon? Excellent. We've come to the conclusion that those formed at a moment of great peril, such as some manner of large-scale assault, would be best suit our purposes. Battles on the southern front will no doubt suffice, but I imagine a worldly adventurer such as yourself can think of other places to find them. If you can track down 15 such memories, we should be well on our way to forging a new weapon for you. Tailing in the Crystal Tower. And pick this bit up. Blake Conway, pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Anis. Slatin has told me much of your difficulties working with Geralt. Not to say that he's he's difficult to work with, mind. He also told me all about your exploits on the southern front, and that's precisely why I'm here. I believe my research on tools and weapons from ancient Bozja may be of assistance to you. The recently discovered ruins of the Bozjan Palace are no doubt rife with such relics. If you should happen to explore at depths, I'd be most grateful if you could bring back anything you find. Safe travels, Blake Connolly. So I guess we have to like run thingy once a week to get those, but then we can get the gold coins that we need for buying equipment. Blake Connolly, yes? Don't believe we've met. My name is Kriv. I understand you're familiar with the fruits of my research and memory. As a matter of fact, the quartermasters have told me much of your findings on the southern front. And thanks to said findings, we believe it now possible to expand the Lost Finds holster even further than previously believed. Though I suppose only fair we give credit to the Guardians, albeit grudgingly. You see, in salvaging gear and supplies from the front, we discovered the uniforms are made using synthetic fibres that are remarkably non-conductive to ether. We believe it may be suitable for insulating the holster, thus allowing us to selfie increase the capacity. Fortunately, we're struggling to procure sufficient quantities of material to test our theories. With your help, however, I believe we may be able to put them to the proof. We require more than synthetic fabric to see our work complete. If you should find any when you next leave to the front, please bring it back to us. Okay. I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that at another point. Now that we've got everything open, I want to look at the new items. It's always gonna look stupid with the fishnets, so... Ooh, that is a nice dress, I have to say. I like the armour. These are both very nice. I do like that they're also armoured, that's pretty cool. Problem is with these boots, you can't. There's a lot that you can't really see. Do you like those boots? I also really like the ones I've got at the moment. I do. I'm a fan of that. Pardon me. Okay, so if I've accidentally given away my book, I can buy it back from her. Luckily, I have not. I need to do my lost... Here we go. Nice. Let's see what this is. Tech traps. Oh, nice, right. I've got... I'm actually going to take one of those out because I'm going to put another Essence of the Ordained if I can find it. Or not. realised how it's freaking not working. Cool. Right. Well, it is slightly early, but I think we've hit a good story point here, so I am actually going to end stream off here, and I'll do my raids and roulettes and stuff tomorrow because I'm feeling very tired. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very, very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming Higurashi When They Cry, Matsuri Bayashi, on Thursday, where we will be continuing to put the puzzle for the perfect June together. Then on Saturday it'll be Nier Automata, where I'm going to be continuing doing Route C2 to get endings D and then E. Then on Sunday it'll be Destiny 2, where we are going to finish off as much as possible before Season of the Chosen starts, which is very exciting. And then next Tuesday will be Final Fantasy XIV, where probably going to be probably going to be doing raids and roulettes and all that good stuff, but we'll see. I may also do a Delebrai. We'll see. Anyway, take care everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and I shall see you guys on Thursday.